The reason for these training videos is to introduce the proper procedures to follow the SCT procedures. Step by step, we will walk you through the proper sampling, reduce samples to testing size, and how to properly test and report. The idea is everyone will follow the same steps and procedures to complete these tests.
In this test, SCT-75, determining the asphalt content using an ignition oven, you will need this equipment: gloves, a bowl in which your sample is located, a scale, and a burn basket.
Once you have completed quartering your material, one of the major tests that will have to be completed is the burn. The burn will come from the last part of your quartering. In order to complete the burn, there are some steps that must happen before the test even begins. First, the oven must be preheated. Preheating your oven will take up to 2 hours to complete. Next, make sure you have a clean basket. That can be used to put the sample material in. Lastly, there needs to be a correct and up-to-date correction factor. Once these things are completed, the test can begin. The weight of the material that is getting tested is equivalent to the nominal maximum aggregate size. This can be found by looking up the mix's overall gradation. This material also must be soft. If it is not, it needs to be reheated to a temperature of 257 plus or minus 9 degrees for 25 minutes. Once this has been completed, you will then take a clean basket apart and evenly layer the material. Take note of the overall weight. This will be needed later. Before opening the oven, first type in the correction factor for the material and the weight of the material that is being tested. Show input of the material weighted in the basket and the input of the correction factor. Once you are ready, open the oven and use the proper basket holder to place it in. Be careful not to drag the basket against the floor of the furnace. Also, make sure it's not touching the walls of the furnace.
You will want to make sure that your mix is within plus or minus 5 grams of its initial weight.
Do a final check to make sure you have the correct numbers within the oven. Once this is done, you will click Start on the oven and the oven will begin printing off a ticket. Do not remove the ticket until after the test is complete. The oven will cut off once the weight in the basket is kept at a certain weight for a certain period of time. The way this oven works is by reaching extreme temperatures. The asphalt will begin to burn off, the test will then be completed, and all that will be left is the rocks that were used to make this material. Once the test is ended, you will click the Start/Stop button and begin to extract the test from the oven. Placement after this is very important, as you should not put it close to a fan, but you also want to reduce it to room temperature. Therefore, the mix will not burn the sieves. The placement of the burn in a protective cage is also an important task that many may tend to disregard. This will allow the visitors not to burn themselves and also allow the mix in the basket to stay safe.